So this episode, we're going to be talking about smut. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Better with Spice. It's your Spice sisters, Coby
and Viv.
Woohoo!
You know, the other day Alex was like, Chili Sisters.
The Chili Sisters.
And I was like,
no.
Yeah.
No,
I was like,
ring with it.
That's kind of, it's like the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, but I think Spice Sisters is like
Yeah,
alliteration.
yeah. I just thought it was funny because I'm like, but Will said Spice Sisters and you said Chili Sisters.
Well,
so
I feel like Chili Sisters reminds me of like people who work at a diner. It gives like the vibe.
Or because of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, it makes me feel like it's like a band.
Groupies.
Yeah.
But actually, have we ever actually introduced who Will and Alex are?
No, they're actually just fictional men.
Yeah, our favorite.
They're just people we mentioned, but we have never.
Yeah, we don't know who they are. It's our
Will's my
fan.
husband.
No, it's like a fanfic situation. Yeah. No, it's create your own husband.
No, Alex is my husband. And Will is also.
Whoa, shit.
And Will is Coby's husband.
And this is Charlie,
who is not my husband.
Cool. So I think like we've done two kind of like life episodes now. So we figured that we might as well bring it back to like our root, which is, oh, get it? It's a root. So this episode, we're going to be talking about smut.
I think let's just do like a little disclaimer for those who
are under 18.
Yes.
Please click off.
Yes, for those, this is going to be 18 plus explicit content that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, just talking about, no visuals.
Yeah. And no. And also maybe like not safe for work. So don't put it on the speakers. Actually, yeah, smut. Yeah, but what is smut? I feel like some people might not know what smut means.
Really?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, sure.
Well, as in like, I've had conversations with people before. It's like, oh, what? So you read smutty books? And someone will be like, what's smutty books?
Oh, interesting.
But they're probably people who don't read.
Yeah. I don't know how to read.
Or don't appreciate great
literature.
Yeah.
Well, I just looked it up on Google. Smart definition: a small flake
or dirt or something.
A small flake of soot or other dirt.
Yeah. So it's dirty shit.
I actually don't know what the word means. Like, I've never heard
just
it in
nasty
any
shit,
other...
isn't it?
Really?
Yeah, because I think if you look up
Urban
Dictionary.
How funny.
If you look up urban.
Okay, well, if you look up smutty novels, it says it's known as erotic novels. It's a subgenre of fiction that primarily focuses on sexual content and explicit scenes.
Oh yeah, smut.
Yummy.
Smut noun: magazines, books, pictures, films, or jokes that offend some people because they relate to sex.
Oh, okay, interesting. But it's actually funny because like I was talking to my manager and she was like, this is actually at a Christmas party last year, and we were like, oh my god, like what are the goals for 2024? And I was like, well, I want to read like, I don't know, 60 books. I forgot it was. And then she was like, oh my god, you read so much. I'm like, yeah, only smart though. And she was like, oh my god, send me some recommendations.
I know, it's funny because when you start to talk to someone, I think people are embarrassed to admit that they read romance novels, right? In particular, smutty novels. So they would just be like, oh yeah, I read romance books. Or
well,
whatever.
are you embarrassed to admit that you read smutty novels?
It's not called embarrassed, but I'm not going to go and tell people that's like, hey, like I read smutty novels.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just be like, I read books. Like, and I think anyone who reads books today will know that it is, a lot of it does have spice. So you wouldn't go and be like, oh, so what? Like, do you read like history novels? You know, like it's like, no, honey, you know I don't read history novels.
I think like any kind of romance book generally have like smutty content in it. But, it just depends on like the level.
Oh, that's a nice segue.
Hey!
That's actually a nice segue. Because we have decided that since we are the Spice Sisters, it is only right to give you our spice rating scale of from chiliest to non-chili. Maybe no.
Wouldn't you go the other way around?
No, because we're starting from the hardest book. First, chili pepper.
Yeah. So if one chili means that it's more sweet than spicy.
Yeah.
So like maybe like a closed door scene.
Would you say
implied.
that's yeah, true.
Yeah.
But would you count closed door as like zero smut though?
I think it depends.
on the
Like
closed
there
door,
are
yeah.
some scenes where it's like it's closed door, but it's like
It-
they just like talk about everything else, like the foreplay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then
like
it's
no like insertion.
yeah.
of
Okay. Well,
any
then I guess
kind.
that yeah. But then at the same time, sometimes like, more sweet than spicy could also be not closed door, but the descriptions are very sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of like first love type.
Like Magnolia Parks.
Yeah.
That's like,
oh,
there's
but
no sex scenes at all though. But
Is there
you
not?
feel
there is a sex scene, like when she was with
At the-
Tom.
yeah. But is that would you how many chili peppers would you say that?
Maybe like 2.
Really, I feel like that's like
Like
more
I think
sweet.
I think it's I think I would say it's the 2 because there was like at least like stuff
Insertion.
going on. Yeah. But like not just like implied, like heavily.
yeah. It was like
implied.
1 page, half page.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so one chili pepper means more sweet than spicy, so more romance.
yeah, more
Yeah,
romantic, I think.
Yeah, and the spice doesn't. It's kind of like, oh, okay, it's inserted,
Cool.
but it's not.
Like it's kind of like
Doesn't
if,
do anything.
if you read this book with your mom, you're
It's
not gonna
fine.
feel awkward
yeah.
about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, it's like watching a sex scene with your
Yeah,
mom.
I would say like that's one
Yeah.
spice, and
Okay.
true spice is when they say it's mild, but it's like kind
Yeah.
of spicy.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that. That's cute.
Yeah, that's like kind of like you go in and they're like, oh yeah, okay, so, yeah. And then it's like, oh,
Oh, okay.
okay, there was a little bit of action going on here.
But we
it's very
just said
hard
that
between 2
Magnolia
and 3.
Parks is 2. So is it really though?
I think for me, Magnolia Parks is between 1 and 2 because
Yeah, like
honestly,
maybe
for
at
me there was
1.5.
less. There's no spice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
But the
like,
tension sometimes maybe can pass as spice.
I wouldn't.
You get a
say
bit like
tension is
desensitized.
spicy, though.
You're like, I'll take anything at this point, like any crumb.
Just give me.
Just give me some hand action. Yeah, so mild, but like they say it's mild, but low-key spicy.
Number 3, it's tingly.
Yeah.
That's so cringe to say out loud.
Yeah, number 3 is probably I would say where most romance books sit.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. Like I think like general population is
It's like a number
3.
3. And I don't know, maybe we can go into like, I don't know, number 3, you haven't finished Akatar. So I feel like Akatar for me is about number 3.
1. Akatar number 1.
Yeah,
there was
so
like
the
2
actual
scenes or something. Yeah, the first book.
That would be number 3.
Yeah,
It's
I would
tingly.
think it's like yeah, kind of.
Like it gets you like a bit, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most romance books that you read will fall in the 3 category. It's kind of like it doesn't take over the plot, and it's but enough to have like maybe a full chapter of like between him and her like POV.
Oh, I really want to talk about spice scenes from like which POV you enjoy more. But let's park that.
Okay.
Oh, what a corporate word.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before. Like, let's park that. Okay, I'll just park over here.
That's literally what it means.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay, I'll just leave it
Or
over there.
put a pin in it. Oh,
I usually just say let's hold that.
hold that thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ew, I disgust myself.
Okay. Yeah. This is millennial and Gen Z vibe. Okay. No.
Yeah, sorry. This is
No
like
corporate vibes,
boomer
please.
vibe. Yeah, this is like boomer personality.
All right. Number 4.
Feel it in the back of my throat. We're talking about the spice levels, okay? Like nothing else.
Yeah. It's like no, but that one is like a bit interpretive because I was just kind of like, I got inspired by Cardi B's song, you know, back in my throat. I don't want to sing. I might get explicit content, but yeah, that's kind of it's spicy.
Yeah, it's definitely spicy. It's definitely like if my parents saw me reading that.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No, it's like if I was reading on the train,
Yeah,
I would
you
like
would
be like this.
Would
Like, I
you-
would feel embarrassed.
It would
Not
be
embarrassed,
more
but
like
awkward.
anything that it's still got some plot, like a lot of dark romance or like mafia romance, some fantasy romances or like praise or priest.
Yeah.
But does priest have? Would you say priest is like 4?
Yeah, I think so. I think around 4.
Yeah, because 5.
Because 5
We called it.
I think we actually need suggestions on this one because I feel like it's not
It's
spicy,
not spicy
enough.
Yeah, because I was like, oh fuck, that's spicy. That's our 5.
But fuck that
Or,
spicy.
like, just, like,
it's just so neutral.
God damn, it's hot. Like too much.
Or it's like I'm.
Yeah, but I don't think that's appropriate.
I think this whole episode is appropriate.
Yeah, no, I think 5 chili peppers is when there's 0 plot.
Yeah,
Practically like not 0 plot, but it's like 10% plot.
But I think
Pretty much it's all about.
how we're rating, like using the rating is also like, yeah, but personal, like it's like what you find hot, or is it more like how to describe like the plotness? Because I did notice that number 1 is kind of like, it's sweet, like there's definitely like a plot line.
Oh, it's
and
mainly
then it gets
plot.
towards the 5. It's like there's no plot, it's literally just smart.
Because well, I feel like I would like, unless we want to have a 6 out of 5, which is literally 0 plot, because those would be like
it's just a
novellas of just like corn.
Yeah,
That's what they say.
Yeah, corn.
corn.
No, but
so it's hard corn. But 5 chili spice for me would be like some white shoes romances, or like like mainly novellas. That would be
novellas.
like, because it kind of is really just like the first chapter is context, and then the rest is just like smart.
Yeah,
which is not like it's not books that change your life. It's kind of just like filler books.
Yeah, I think it's like, well, I guess like at this point in my reading journey, like I barely read any novellas anymore because it's like, why, like I don't enjoy popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn. Let's just
like I don't enjoy it, so it's like I want to read plot. I'm in my plot era.
True. Sometimes I like, most of the time I also am the same, but there are some days where you just want something to like, if you just read a really sad book or a heavy book, then you're like, you know what, let's just like break out of that and, you know,
get some popcorn.
Yeah.
But I'm actually the opposite. If I read a heavy book, I think what I need to follow that up with is a thriller, a popcorn thriller.
Oh, so a smutty thriller.
No, a popcorn thriller is like a short.
Oh, right. Because I thought you meant actually smutty thriller.
No.
Like, oh, I've got some recommendations of smutty thrillers.
Really?
Well, like the Mindfuck series is a really good one.
Is that a thriller?
It's not really a thriller, but it's like,
more just like themes.
Yeah, and then there's also one called like Butcher and the Blackbird.
I really want to read that. That sounds fun.
That's nice. It's 2 serial killers who like
kill serial killers.
Yes,
right?
and then also they fuck. Yeah. But they're not probably thrillers. Like, it's not like you're like,
I think like Verity is.
see, I've never read Verity.
Oh, so Verity is a true thriller with like sex scenes, but I think like that is more. Like, if I'm reading a thriller, I want it to be more thrilling, less romance.
That's true. Yeah. Because most of these are still probably romance driven.
Yeah.
The thriller part is like less.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's our spice rating. So from now on, when we read a book, we'll give it our own.
Yeah, the spice is the spice rating.
Yes, that's nice. Yeah, spice is the spice rating. So anyway, today's going to be all about the world of spice in books, and then what we classify as like smut. Then we're going to go through maybe like some smut icks.
And
then, or like what we enjoy most about smut. And then we're going to do a little game afterwards. So a cringy game, actually. I'm like a bit nervous.
I think it shouldn't be a drinking game, but it's like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it actually is 11 o'clock. Okay, so you already mentioned that right now you don't really want, like, you're not gravitating towards smutty books. But does it, like, do you still, I don't know, like, do you still, when you're reading a book of romance, if there's 0 smut, would you still continue reading?
I think, well, I wouldn't know if there was no smut in it, right?
True, but, well, like, you're like 50-60% in. It is a story about, like, it's a romantic story, but there's no smut.
I think, yes, I will still continue reading.
Because I think we already touched on this in the first episode, whether like you would continue reading, whether it was if it was like closed door, like would you?
Yeah, I would continue to read it, But like I think I would just be like, but it also depends on the couple, right? Like if they're like they've got like some mad tension, like it's really like, because I love tension, and but like you get to the scene, like the spicy scene, and it's closed door, I'll be very frustrated.
Yeah, same.
But if it's kind of like a literary fiction where you kind of know like the general gist is more like, you know, women literature, and you kind of know there's not going to be like a spicy scene, so that's okay.
Well, yeah.
I guess it depends on like the context.
I'm kind of the same, I guess. I think I would be more frustrated if like I probably would rather just have more like no spice than spice that's closed door. I think closed door frustrates me because it's kind of like you're working up to this moment and then you kind of just like
pass out. Like it's like
it's like stopping a song midway, like a really good song midway,
like
you know?
something we've experienced.
Yeah, like a really good song. You're about to get to the drop of the beat, and then they like stop it, and then it's just like, well, you might as well have just made it more really, really sweet and romantic and wholesome.
Or like more plot driven.
Yeah.
Like remove that part of
and then I will be like, oh, I don't need. It's like you're not getting like teased a bit, you know, and then you're just like, it's like a really wholesome story.
Yeah, like I think it's like if the build up is like extreme and then the sex scene is like a closed door, it's just like blue balls.
Can we say blue balls? Yeah.
Yeah, like why not?
Okay, so what are some of your smut icks?
I think this is mostly when we're in like a novella and it's just like 2 pages in, oh my god, I love her, and then they're having sex for the first time and it's like, oh, I love you. Like, no, you don't.
Okay, so, because you don't like carrying men.
Yeah. Yes. But like it's like I know there's a level of suspending that disbelief, but it's like, how can you love her?
But like, do you not take that out because it's a novella? So you know that the plot has to be really quick?
I think so, but like I have also read novellas where it's done really, really well. Like although it's like, 60 pages, there's still tension, not like the first like 3 pages. It's like I'm in love with her. It's no, you're not.
They're in love with her body, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's different. Like you're a fully grown man, you should know it.
Okay, but what about like the actual scene itself? So like, could you? Because like for me, I have read scenes where halfway through I'm like I'm skipping, and sometimes it's just like when the smut's too much.
Yeah,
and I don't know how to say like when it's too much. It's just like when like
the line is fine,
or like it's too descriptive.
Yeah,
or like the same thing keeps happening. Like, or like the sex scenes are always the same.
Yes. Yeah.
Like there's
it's repetitive. Yeah. Or it's like, I think like I like it when it's like variety of like they're doing something different in a different like location.
Yeah.
Or like, position, but not just like
so cringe. I feel
put it in.
I feel
nice.
awkward. I feel uncomfortable. This is like when we watched 50 Shades of Grey together in the cinemas, and then we were surrounded by like pretty much the whole cinema was filled with women, and then remember it was like every time like a sex scene came on, everyone was like quiet, like just like like kind of like ooh, and then you and I just like trying not to laugh, like, but I'm sure there's other people equally as uncomfortable.
And there was a guy sitting next to me and he was by himself, and
was
like,
he?
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was a guy sitting next to you.
I was like, you go girl, like you watch that film.
You learned some tips.
Yeah.
Wait, guy or girl? Guy.
A guy.
Yeah. I mean, but we did look at each other at one position that was like and we were like,
true.
Write it in our notes.
Take a screenshot.
But this kind of feels like that right now. I'm like, this is like low-key uncomfortable.
I don't feel uncomfortable.
I do. I think when it's too, I think like in a spicy novella is okay because you can expect that maybe 60 to 100 pages is just smut. So you're like, you know what you're getting in for, and you're like, okay, like I chose to open this book knowing that it's just smut, so I should be okay with no plot.
Yeah.
But when it's like a romantic-ish novel, whether it's like ice hockey romance or like Second Chance, Small Town, if there's like no tension, I think for me, I also have come to really like tension as I started to deep dive into books. So I feel like if there's no tension, that means there's no like build up, and the sex scenes just feel really like P in V.
Yeah, no, I agree. Where it's like, if there's like, it's all about the build up, I think, like in real life and in books. But if it's shit build up, then like I don't care how well the scene is written, because it's like, why would I just want to read Corn? If I want to read Corn, I might as well watch it.
Which is weird because maybe at the start I wasn't like, at the start you're kind of just like, like I said, I was very into insta love.
Yeah.
And maybe because it's like you're opening like into a candy store for the first time.
Yeah,
like,
it's like
wow,
so
there's
different. Like,
much,
oh my god, like that's so. Yeah, I think it is like that, but I think no longer like that.
We have matured
in
as
our
readers. We read plot driven Corn.
Yeah, like I like the plot. I'm in for the plot.
The plot is the thing.
Let's go back to what we parked about POV.
Yes.
Yes,
nice.
So I like, one of my favorite books of all time is
this a smutty book or just like
it's a romance book, and I don't have a favorite smutty one. I swear I don't. But my favorite.
I do.
Oh really?
Well, I have a few like good smutty books that I like to.
Like, I actually don't even remember a lot of the smutty books I read, because they're just like so whatever to me that I don't. Yeah. Like, I was looking through the list of books I've read this year, and I have not read a single smutty book this year. Or like a novella. Like, I read it.
As in like 4 or 5 smut.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But no, what I was saying was my favorite romance book is called You Again.
Yes.
By Kate Goldbeck. But one of the smutty scenes,
I remember you mentioning.
Yeah, like I love it because it's like the duo POV, and I always find a male POV very like.
I think I like male POV better. Yeah.
Because I think it's like, I don't know my own thoughts.
And I guess you can understand from a woman's perspective of how it would be like to like
to play out.
Yeah.
But to hear, like, especially because this is a romance book as well, like, it was like very romantic and like very sweet. I think like that's why I love like a male POV.
Yeah. I probably prefer male POVs than female, because female also has like a lot of internal dialogue.
Yeah,
that's
like, stop talking, girl.
And it's like internal dialogue that's not that romantic half the time. When it's during smut scenes, it's kind of just like it's like her questioning or like her like saying, oh, it's finally happening, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. Whereas the male is like always like a bit more possessive, a bit more like, I don't know, like it feels like she's like the best thing in my life.
Yeah,
like,
the best thing that's ever happened to me.
And I could do this forever. And you're like,
no, but I think like that's exactly why, like, you know, this is a generalization, but a lot of the times romance books are written for women. And it makes sense.
And written by women.
Yeah, by women. Or there are men who write romance books.
But a lot of them are. Most of them are women.
So I think it's definitely geared towards that like way of thinking, right? Where it's like, I always want to know like what my partner is thinking. And like by reading this, I'm like,
Oh, okay. Nice. Well, that's my next question. So like, obviously in these, most of the smutty books that we read, for some reason, all these fictional men are very vocal about what they like. And like, for example, a very classic line. I mean, this is going to be really
I feel cringe already.
Classic line would be, by the way, again, if this is already on speaker, now really is the time to have it off speaker, because this is cringe for everyone involved. But a classic line would be, like, the girl would be like, he's eating me out like he hasn't eaten for days. Do you know that one? Like, as in like he's salivating or something.
Yeah.
But what my question deviating is, if that was happening in real life, like if your partner said that in real life, would it give you the ick, or would it actually make you?
I think, okay, there are definitely some lines, like, within a spicy novel that if it was set in real life, I'd be like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop talking.
Yeah, or like, it'll be like, what? It's cringy. Like, why are you saying that?
Yeah, but then it's also like action, like things you do, things you say that you will never say in like in a different perspective or in a different day. Like, it's very much like in
singular
like
moment.
Moment.
Yeah. You might not ever repeat it again.
It's okay. Like, you'll never do that ever again. But in that moment, it's okay. So I think it's dependent on the moment. But if I was like very like removed from like a sex situation, and then someone had said, if someone was like, oh, actually the book I read this morning, I was like, that's fucking disgusting. In the way it's like, because I hate like caring men, right? And then if a man had said something to me like, you know, I don't want like any other man to look at you, I'll be like, shut the fuck up.
So do you not like possessive kink in smut? Like, do you like the whole like if anyone else touches like you out, like?
I think I do, but I don't like it in a golden retriever way. It depends on the context. Like if it's like a stalker, I'm like, yeah, true, nice. But if it's like, you know, oh my god, but like take care, I'm like, I'm gonna kick you in the balls, bro.
But you don't even like dark romance.
I do like dark romance. Just haven't read a lot of it.
But you like stalker vibes. Isn't that like the hunting Adeline?
But I thought it was not stalkerish enough.
Oh my god. I still haven't read it. Maybe I should read it next.
I feel like it's just whatever.
Is it smutty?
It's very smutty. I think the smutty scenes are very smutty, but I feel like everything that's outside of the smutty scenes is like, this is not like serial killer enough for me.
Maybe you would like...
Maybe I should write my own.
In terms of like, just quickly, because you said that within moments you would be like okay with certain things being said and stuff. So what do you think about, let's just go through some very stereotypically known smut stuff. So the first one is like the good girl phrase. So I guess that's kind of a praise kink, you know, like I personally feel like I don't enjoy that in real life, or perhaps maybe like a little bit in real life, because everyone likes to be told that they're doing a good job.
Yeah, you're doing a good job. Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
Imagine having sex. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Halfway, like what, during it or like after? Like halfway, it's like, well done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like on a scale of like 1 to 100, what are you thinking right now?
No. It's like it's happening, and he's like, do you mind taking some feedback?
I'll be like, yeah, sure. Anyway, okay, so good girl. What's your thoughts?
Agree. Ting.
You like
green tick.
Okay. What about another classic one would be like, you can take it.
In real life, I'm like, but you're not that big.
Wait.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but we've actually never talked about this.
But
so
like,
tell me when. No, but seriously, tell me when.
But like, I think it's like, okay, I'm answering these questions as if it's like
no, okay.
In general,
let's just,
not in my current relationship.
Okay, let's just say in books. Do you like reading? You can take it.
No.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Yeah,
I feel like it's like, bitch, if I want to take it, I'll take it. You don't need to tell me I can take it.
Don't tell me what I can and cannot do.
But like the girls always like, I think I don't like the whole like the girls always like, oh my god, you're so big.
No, I hate that.
And then he'll be like, it's okay, we'll make it fit.
We could do.
It's like, I feel like I don't like those ones as much.
I actually don't like any trope where the girl is more timid, and either if they're first time or not, I just don't like them to act that way. And I don't like that trope because I feel like it's like not degrading in a way, but it's more just like
it makes it look like the woman's just all
weak.
Like, yeah. I actually feel like I don't like obviously it's nice to read about like descriptive of like this man's really hot, chiseled abs, and it goes to his like size, and I guess it's like setting unrealistic expectations that all these men have.
I think like those books saying that how big they are, it is like just like in con because that's what the expectation is,
and I feel like that sets like
the tone.
Yeah, that it like I guess it's for people who are potentially not in a relationship or perhaps like been single all their life, or you know, I don't know, like just single,
just have expectations,
or like maybe haven't had sex for the first time or whatever, or haven't had good sex, and they're reading these type of books. It does set a little bit of a expectation of what sex should be like. And like, you know, it's just, I feel like it sets
Yeah, but I also find that only is really in like novellas.
Spicy.
Very spicy, like 4 or 5-star novellas.
Well, like in Fourth Wing, there's like that specific, in the second one, Iron Flame, I'm pretty sure, Satan, there's like a scene where she's like, oh, the snow's gonna be like 7 inches, and he's like, you get more, and I'm like,
but I thought that was funny because it's like
funny.
a guy is like it's like a guy who's like, you know, being
Massive,
like being like, oh yeah, look how big I am. But like I think like when I was saying before, like, you know how your question was like, if would I like it if a guy said to me, you can take it, yeah. And I think like because of like my person, like this is like I feel like my personality, like if I was to date today, like if I wasn't married and I met a guy and like he has like a personality that is like, look how big my dick is, I would literally be like, shut the fuck up.
And I feel like most girls would as well. Most girls would be like, you're being really like experience. That's very
just shut the fuck up.
Yeah. But in books they make it seem really like, oh,
fun.
Oh wow, like that's so hot.
No, it's not hot.
No.
I think it's like that's why I don't like that like persona from a woman in a book. If you're like that in real life, you do you. Yeah. But I personally do not subscribe to that.
Subscribe. I do not associate to that. What about like, how do you feel about like dom sub?
Like princess?
No, like 50 Shades.
I don't think I've ever read it.
No, not like as in the book, but as in that type of smut. Because I think he's a bit more like dominant and she's submissive.
I think it's more, I think like I don't like BDSM books just because that's not something I'm personally into, but I don't mind a more dominant male figure.
Yeah.
Like a dad. What about daddy?
Yeah, I can't do daddy.
Ooh. Do you want to unpack that?
I can't. I did read one book that was like, she was dating the guy, right? Just a guy, and he either cheated on her or something, so she obviously dumped him, and then she dated her dad. His dad, sorry. Not her dad. Oh my god. She dated his dad as like, but as in like, I did read one of those, and that was like okay, because the dad in question was like obviously single dad, and then also like he was young single dad,
and he's like
and he was kind of like cool and like,
no, not like an old man.
No, not like a like actual like dad.
Father.
Yeah.
I mean, he's technically a father.
Yeah, but like I probably can't read daddy romance. Like if someone in the scene says like daddy, I'm like done already.
Yeah,
immediately
like,
I'll be like, no.
I don't like. Oh, it's like it's the book I read this morning in preparation for this.
What's
podcast.
The book called? How many chili peppers?
It was like a 5 chili peppers.
Oh.
It's called My Stalker, My Protector, and then it's literally.
Oh, don't even show that. We can't show that. Sorry, that's quite explicit.
Yeah, the cover. And then I think like in the scene, the girl like calls him like his name, and then he's like, "Call me by my proper name," and then she's like, "What? What are you
like master
about?
And stuff like that." Yeah,
like,
I can't do that.
Call me daddy. Like, shut the fuck.
Call me daddy. That's a podcast.
Yeah.
plug. Yeah, no, I can't do that.
No, I don't like that. Like, I'm like, but I think it's like sometimes like I'm so. Like, I feel like me saying, like, shut the fuck up is very because, like, I'm not, like, currently in, like, I'm not reading the book. Yeah. I'm not reading the book.
But did you finish the book?
I did finish the book.
Yeah, so it wasn't that
for the sake of this podcast. I was looking for the right scenes. Okay. Actually, I want to raise the fact that when you read on Kindle, it shows you, like, the most highlighted parts.
And sometimes I'm surprised.
I'm like, why are you guys highlighting this shit?
And it'll be, like, over, like, 10,000 people highlighting the same line. And I'm like, but why are you going back to reading this part?
Yeah, they're like, oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm also like, I'm reading it and I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
Like, do people just have like soft corn on their highlights just to like, like a whole bunch of like one-liners?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's why I always wonder, like, why are people highlighting this shit? Like, whenever I read like a novella, that's my favorite part to look at. It's like, what's being highlighted? I'm like, are you guys finding, like, am I wrong to not find this hot? Or like, who's wrong here? That's
all right. Okay. So we talked about what we kind of have Smut X.
Yes.
But let's do like a nice segue to what we actually like about smut. Okay, so for me, like, I guess, yeah, like tension. I like it when in a smut scene, the foreplay is really long. And it's like, it's, for example, like it's not like straight away to take their clothes off and it's like P and V.
I love you.
Yeah. Where it could be like multiple chapters of just like kissing or like kind of other things, and then they do like the scene,
final
and you're like,
act.
wow, this is like they're finally together.
Yeah.
And you can feel like the tension has finally like
Been released.
erupted.
Erupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I agree. Like I love tension. Like I love it when a book, it's like, you know, let's just say it's 350 pages long and the scene doesn't hit until like 80%. But like it's like there might be just one scene in the whole book, but like there's like build up of like relationship the whole time. Yeah, so like I really like Mariana Zapata. So
never.
she's like slow burn queen.
Is that the one who the Winnipeg one?
Yeah. So like the one
She is slow burn queen.
like very, very, very slow burn. And like I like that, where it's like I don't have to have lots of smutty scenes. If it's one really good scene, I'm like, yeah, nice.
Okay, but my question is like, okay, so slow burn, I feel like there is a fine line between good slow burn and like
boring.
just slow burn that's like too slow.
Yeah.
So like for me, when I'm hearing that, right, like I like slow burn, but if the first sex scene is 80%, that would frustrate me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why? Because I'm impatient.
It's like, fucking just have sex already. Put it in.
No, I think like, I guess, yeah, if it's like a 700 page or anything between
700 pages.
maybe, okay, like 400 page book, is that what's average?
Is
I
it?
feel like I would like a few in there, but
Yeah.
still somehow have slow burn.
Like I understand what you mean.
Or maybe it's like 80%, but then the next like 20%, it's like
yeah,
a bit
there's
more.
a couple
yeah,
of
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Yeah. That's like, yeah. Like I think like I like it at least 50%. Like where it's like
If they
you've
haven't
got-
kissed by like 40-50%,
yeah,
it's
well,
like, what are you doing?
I think it's like the feelings have to be shown by like the 40, 50, 60. Like that's where it's building, and then the scene is like 70, 80, and then the rest of it is like the resolution.
And then also the first 40% has to be sexual tension.
Yeah, it has to be,
otherwise
it has
it's
to be
like-
tension,
yeah.
not like we're just mates.
Yeah, or
you're
like
just
suddenly
coexisting.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
No,
and
I
it's
don't
like,
like
do we
that,
want to
no.
kiss at like 40% with no tension?
No, you don't want to kiss.
No, yeah, you're like reading. No.
Don't do that.
This is like a really cringy question, but when you read certain, why are you just laughing like you know what I'm gonna say?
I feel like I know you.
Have you read certain books, not necessarily just pure smut, just like books with smut that has gotten you into the mood?
Not a romance book. I feel like romance, not necessarily, but like short novellas, I'm like, yeah, okay, get it, girl. But like, because like I feel like the level of smut is just different. Because like when I'm reading a romance novel, I feel like it's about them. It's not about
True.
me. You know what I mean?
And like it almost feels like you feel intrusive if you feel anything
Hello.
from like if you feel anything from
DIY.
reading the scene, because like you said, it's a story about them, and
It's
you
them,
feel more
yeah.
like, oh my god,
I'm
like
just
they're finally
watching.
together.
In
I'm
the
just-
corner.
That's like another trope, isn't it? What is it called, voyeurism or something?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm just like the creep in the
I'm like,
wardrobe.
does
Get
anyone
it,
need any
girl.
condoms? Like, you practicing safe sex over here? Try to read a smutty romance for the podcast as well, like just pure smut novella, and I actually like DNF'd at like 5%. Like I actually was like, this is, first of all, like I think I told you yesterday that it was a why choose, and then it's not really a why choose, it's like just reverse harem, like it's a singular one night stand between one girl and two guys, but it was written in third person, so then I genuinely did not know who was who, because it was just like he, she, he, and I'm like, who, he, what,
I want to read this just to laugh.
I should give it, it's like not rated that terribly, but because it's by a very big smutty author, Katie Roberts.
Oh yeah. I love Katie Roberts.
Actually, I've never read any of her books, but I know she does smut really well.
She's a big author.
But this one was just not.
Mr. Man.
And I'm like, maybe I don't like smut as much as I thought I did.
Yeah, like
Or
I
like
just
all
don't-
pure smut. Let's
Yeah.
just say, yeah.
I'm not in my smutty era anymore. I'm purely like not purely, but I'm mostly on the romance side.
Which
Yeah.
is still spicy.
Yeah, like I like romance with a bit of spice, but not necessarily a pure smutty book.
Well, I feel like just to make things not as like anti-smut,
We still love it.
there are a few books that I really like.
Okay, let's hear it.
And they're like comforting smut. Have you ever like, do you feel like, have you read a comforting smut? I feel like it's not like it's a well-known genre because I feel like, but I feel like some smut is comforting.
Okay, let's hear them.
I don't know like what
I've
it is.
never experienced this. What is this?
So there is this Why Choose romance book called Lola and the Millionaires.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I know.
It is
I
a
know.
Omegaverse book. So Omegaverse is actually like, I feel like we should probably do an episode on Omegaverse.
I know nothing about it.
Yeah, which is why it's funny. But Omegaverse is like an entire like different genre of, I don't think it even just exists in books. It exists in like fanfics. No, not like, or like perhaps even like maybe films. I don't know. Like, but it's mainly about like alphas and betas. So alphas as if like, I think most of them are always like in some form of like wolf form or like they have some form of scent. Like it's all about the scent and marking, you know, like like an alpha dog or something. Like an alpha pack. Sorry, that's what they call it. Like a pack. And it's mostly always a pack of men, obviously, which then have a singular person as like an omega to hold the pack together.
Like
You
the
know.
queen.
Kind of, yeah. And this omega can be male or female,
Mm.
but it's all about like the scent. So like you smell someone, it's like, yep, that's like the pack works as a unified pack who then all smells this one singular person. And that's like they like, I don't know, like the fated mate or something. Like they just,
Yeah,
it's
so
like
they
that's
all faded to that one omega.
yeah, usually. But sometimes it's not always sexually. It could be like a protective way, like more, because the pack can be ranged from like old to young, you know, and then it could be like more a father figure.
Interesting.
But like, so no romantic, it's just like, you're my pack, like you're part of my pack now.
Yeah.
And then some would be like lover, some would be like, you know, that kind of. Anyway, so there's this book called Lola and the Millionaires. One of my followers actually like recommended this to me, and it's actually one of my favorite.
Yeah, I thought you rated it 5 stars.
It's not like 5 out of 5, but it's a good 4.5. And it's a duo, so it's part 1 and part 2, and it's about Omega. But it's like the relationship that she has with each of the alphas are very different. Like I said, some of them are a bit more like possessive, some of them are more like a like protection figure. Like, I don't know, like it's just not all sexual. And it's like, I actually reread it like a few times because I'm like, this is nice.
Maybe I should read it. Like, is it well written? That means no.
No, it's not like, I wouldn't say like, don't read it to have a plot. But for a book that's like primarily spicy, it still is like quite nice.
Okay.
So it's not like Insta I love you.
Yeah. Like
But-
I get what you mean by comfort. Like I think it's so what you mean is like not the spice is comfort, but like the
relationships
is
like,
comfort.
yeah. But
Yeah.
like there's a lot of spice in it, but it's like a spicy comfort read. Okay, so spicy book first one would be Lola and the Millionaires is a good one. I will also recommend for my Why Choose girlies.
or want to get into it.
Yes, there is a book called Tangled in Tinsel. It is a novella. It is very guilty pleasure type of read, very spicy. Don't expect too much plot, but if you want 4 to 5 spice, that will be one of them. And then let's do, maybe I'll do a I want to try and do like a like a medium spice.
Like a 3 spice.
A medium spice with relatively good plot, good characters. I would say The Right Move by Liz. It's kind of sports romance, spicy, but like still cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for a sports movie romance, I would recommend Icebreaker. I think
That's spicy.
it's
though.
spicy, like, but it's spicy, but it's also like kind of plot.
It's
So,
very long. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it
you
is
do
very,
have
very
enough
long,
plot
yeah,
to like make up for.
drive it. I think
Yeah.
like 3.5 spice rating.
Yeah, I would say it's between tingly and back of my throat. Yeah.
I think I 5 spicy rating is a book called Love Bites by Katie Ray. And it's one of those novellas where it's like, I am a city girl, like I've gone to the mountain to like do a
cabin
getaway.
one.
Yeah, a cabin one, yeah. But I really like that one because it is still plot driven, although it was a novella.
After you read that, you can read Tangled in Tinsel because that's also cabin, but like snowy vibes.
I do love a cabin book though.
You should read.
I think maybe a 3 spice will be like anything by Kennedy Ryan.
Oh yes,
It's very plot driven.
It's
but the spice scenes are like worth it.
Actually, Kennedy Ryan, because she actually writes really good romance books. Yeah, because one of my other suggestions were the Grip series.
Yeah.
Have you read the Grip series?
I've read the Hoop series.
The Grip, yes, I remember the long time. That's like the long shot or something, right? Yeah. The Grip series is also one that's very plot driven, but actually has like a lot of good spice.
Yeah, it's good spice.
Yeah.
I think it's like
Kennedy
good
Ryan's
spice.
a good spice writer.
Yeah, like it's not cringy spice and it's really well written spice, but the plot drives the purpose. Like it serves a purpose. And actually, you know what? Like
that's
I
a
think
good segue to the cringe.
where it serves absolutely no purpose. But I think like for me, spice that I like has to serve a purpose of driving the relationship forward and not just like we're having sex for the sake of having sex, which is like fine if you want to do that in real life, but
and they'll also fine if that's what the type of book you're picking up sometimes.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
There's no judgment in either way.
So Coby is now going to read just a spicy scene from this spicy novella, and she's going to try and read it without laughing, and I have to listen to it without cringing. So we'll see how far, and then we'll see how far you guys can get before shutting this off completely.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
So, okay, so to set the scene.
Yeah, set the scene. Let's give a context of who.
Yeah. So this book is My Stalker, My Protector by Jessa Kane. Jessa Kane is a very...
Oh, she's quite big.
She is, yeah. And I really do like her writing. Her writing is pretty good for like smutty novellas.
Okay, first of all, what's the spice rating that you are rating it as?
Probably a 4 to 5.
Okay,
like 4.5.
and then overall the book is rated as?
Like a 3.
Oh, that's actually not too bad for
It's
a spice.
not too bad.
Okay.
Funnily enough, I didn't hate the epilogue.
Okay.
And what the book is about is basically this guy is obsessed with his best friend's little sister, and then so he's been stalking her for like ages.
Actually stalking her, or
actually stalking her. So he's a baseball player, and then one day his best friend knocks on his door and he's like, mate, like you, well, not mate, they're not Australian. Mate,
you got
yeah. It's like, bro, you gotta like help me out. Like I need to travel, but you need to look after my little sister.
How old is his little sister?
His little sister's like a fully grown woman. Like
So
she
what-
does not need help.
Okay, it's
But-
just the plot.
Yeah, it's the plot. Like that's the plot.
Yeah.
And so essentially the scene is she is staying with him right now.
Oh, we love
and
we love a one single bed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, a
Forced
single bed of
proximity.
yeah, that's it. Okay. So this is about actual sex.
Okay,
scene.
wait. How far is this in the book?
69%.
Okay, so they've already. Did you actually realize that or not? So they've already had a sex scene. Or
This is the first time.
Okay,
Oh
so-
no, actually, to set it up, they had an encounter. Oh, this is so cringe. But he was like, "Oh, because you have a stalker."
But he is the stalker.
He is the
But
stalker.
he's like,
But it was like, you need to take all your clothes off so then we can make sure that he hasn't bugged you in any way. That was the scene, which is very abusive if you think about it. So, okay. And then this is the scene where they're actually going. Like, this is the first time that they actually
give it to me.
do full.
I'm not gonna look at you.
Are you sure? Are you ready to take it?
I can take it.
Good girl.
No, I actually can't.
That's literally what the line is.
Oh my god, I can't.
Okay,
I'm
so
like,
the guy, I forgot what the guy's called, but this is his perspective, and the girl's name is called Scout.
And his but you can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I can't remember. Well, it's from his perspective anyway. It should be fun. His name's Daddy, obviously. Okay, so good Girl Scout. I loosened my grip around her throat, my surging harder at the sound of her gasping, filling her lungs with air. I dropped my my touched delivering light but vicious.
Oh, no,
That's what I thought. Oh, she's a freshman, he says here.
Oh, you just realized.
You're only scared because that's what you've been taught, to fear what you don't understand. But underneath that innocent freshman skirt. Yes, Daddy. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Please stop. That's actually no.
Screaming.
I can't look at you. I feel embarrassed.
I'm the one reading this for the internet.
I'm gonna just like.
Alright, thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
I'm like curled up like this. I feel so uncomfortable.
I feel uncomfortable that people are gonna know this is shit I read at 6 a.m. in the morning. I only did it for the pod, okay?
But there was zero plot. Oh no, you said, oh, you did it for the pod. I also said I did it for the plot, and I'm like, but there's zero plot.
There's no plot. Don't worry.
Anyway, overall, thank you for tuning in for this smutty episode. We're very uncomfortable,
so we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, bye guys. See you next week.
Actually, am uncomfortable. That scene, are you serious? The freshman skirt.